The Terrible Warriors is funded by Patreon supporters just like you at terriblewarriors.com/Patreon. And thanks to our Patreon supporters, The Terrible Warriors is expanding into a whole new show that you can subscribe to. Details after the show. Today on The Terrible Warriors, we return to the land of Westeros. Well, technically nearby, just across the narrow sea. Where we last left our 3 mercenaries and a maester, they just walked into a brothel. It's Game of Thrones, where else are you gonna end up? And revelations were made. Identities revealed, both figuratively and literally. But as Tiff Compton continues her victory lap around the very first game she ever GM'd, she wasn't done throwing punches at us. The stakes get raised in episode 3 of Blood and Gold. And spoiler alert, there's a lot more of the former, not as much of the latter. Because despite the competence that they find in the statistics on their character sheet, they will discover that they truly are terrible warriors.
Greetings, terrible listeners. This is Dareth the Bard from Chasing the Muse. And we're not playing with the Edmonton crew today. We are playing, once again, the 3rd episode of our Song of Ice and Fire game with the crew witches from everywhere, led by our beautiful GM.
Hey, Tiffany Fonsolo Compton.
Hey, I'm Bernard D. from Parts Unknown, as one of the players here. Yay. I'm the motherfucking bird man from Guelph.
There it is.
And
you already
Justin.
know who I am.
And Justin.
Justin, introduce yourself.
Here I am, and Justin, Mr. Ecock, hanging out here in the Toronto studios. I'm hitting the record buttons, making things go woo.
You can
Exactly
turn the
like
machine
that,
that goes
too.
ping.
Yes.
So, where we last left off, in the Song of Ice and Fire, Blood and Gold, as we now decided to name this campaign, we arrived in this brothel. The Red Priestess revealed herself to be the mother of Dodd's character, who I gotta write these names back down again.
Mazel tov.
And,
Would you like?
we're all here, feeling a little
I have the list.
off our foot. Yeah, by all means, Tiff, if you want to set us up with the exposition necessary to start off
All
our
right.
first scene.
Sounds good. And I'm sorry if you hear thunder in the background. There's a thunderstorm going on, but you know what? It's just going to add some. It's going to add some atmosphere. All right. So when we left our heroes quotes last, the revelation that the Red Priestess was actually Kryn's mother had come to light. They stand in the basement of a brothel in Mere, the interior of which is covered in empty casks, wine casks, and old furniture. It smells of moth-eaten fabric and stale, settled air. Above, the party would hear the sounds that one would expect to hear in a whorehouse, as well as shuffling of children outside the nearby basement windows. No doubt the children of the women that worked in this establishment. Nymea, who is Kryn's mother, had taken down the hood of her red cloak before hanging it on a nearby chair, revealing a head of impossibly long brown hair, dark almond-shaped eyes, and a lithe frame. Her face and skin tone would lend to the fact that she is not fully of Dornish descent, and her accent, being decidedly Westerosi, would explain itself by that fact. So she's a mutt, pretty much. So that's where you guys are right now. I'm gonna have Nymea give you some words. As I said before, my name is Nymea, not Arin. When I was raised from the gutter by a red priest who told me my life had no more meaning than being fucked for a few silver pieces. He was rather explicit for a man of God. Nevertheless, I looked into the fire and I saw things no one could possibly know. Apologies, that is neither here nor there. If you'll let me explain my position, you'll understand my intentions. Being a servant of the Lord of Light, or at least donning the garb of the faithful, gives me the unique respect that a common whore or slave would not have. Those stones that you salvaged from the smuggler's carriage are no mere paperweights, nor are they ornate artisanal carvings. The contents of that chest are more powerful and precious than you could possibly comprehend. Go ahead. Ask your questions.
So that would mean they're worth a lot of money, yes?
That is correct, I suppose.
My jaw's on the floor, still kind of dry. I'm actually going to cover up now. I'm like, oh dear.
Right, you're still naked.
Yeah. Like, what happened to you? Where have you been?
I wish I had time to explain, and perhaps I will in the near future, but right now, there is something that I need you all to know. There is a steep cost for my knowledge of all of these past, present, and future events, and I do not intend to waste that short time. Just trust me. I've been truthful thus far, have I not? The last Targaryen dragon laid a clutch of 5 eggs, 3 of which you see before you now. The last 2, we believe, are in a shy, or had been until recently, after being taken away from King's Landing when Aegon III had been killed.
What, are we referring to one of the paperweights I've been using to write down to document our journey?
Yeah.
These are just
stone ornaments. That's why she called them paperweights.
Stone ornaments.
Picks one of them up and he looks at it. So you are saying that inside this is a dragon?
It's much more complicated than that, my dear.
No, I have seen chicken eggs before. Inside this little chicken, you keep it warm and then you get a big chicken.
Yeah, these are fossilized eggs. They're petrified.
They can't be alive.
Kalo is right. The eggs, it has been so many years. They are mere stone. But you must know, dragons are magic. They are the stuff of pure mysticism. Nothing is impossible.
Can I roll to huff at the notion of magic?
Sorry, what was that?
Nothing. I was making a joke about rolling to huff at the notion of magic.
Okay.
Yep. Kalo checks out. He goes back to writing, going, this nonsense, this stupid job.
But I hate this
magical
job.
Paperweights?
Magical paperweights?
Yes, you're saying they're magical paperweights. They make the paper that they are on magic, or... I do not know.
Because the last person in Westeros that decided that they had the answer to make a dragon was that Targaryen who drank wildfire.
Honestly,
and I don't think that worked out too well for him.
We'd be better off selling these ornaments for a night's stay on a warm bed rather than sleeping in a wine cellar.
If you'll permit me to finish. Okay, hold on. Where was I? I have been permitted to see the fate of these eggs. There is no stopping these particular eggs getting into Daenerys' hands. I have foreseen it. But if we go after the remaining 2, I can promise you all that you can expect from such a find. Not only a great amount of gold, but renown and power. But most importantly, when the time comes, they may act as the most valuable bargaining chips known to all 7 kingdoms and beyond.
I know how we can keep them out of the Daenerys Targaryen's hands. I go downstairs, I go to the blacksmith across the street, and I get from him a hammer. I come back here, we smash the eggs, they go to powder, all is done.
And we still have a little matter of
we put them in the metal box, we throw them in the
asks.
river, we bury them in mud, we just forget we ever saw these. Or we sell them for a nice
Why don't we use them to get close to the Targaryen bitch?
I beg you to reconsider your thoughts. If you were to destroy these eggs, you would be destroying a future.
We're not here for Dany's future. We have been hired by the realm. Do you not forget whose coin has paid for this journey? Gentlemen.
And do not forget the coin that I have just given you.
We cannot become traitors to our own land.
The coin you have just given us was specifically to convey you here. We have done that. We have performed the proper services for you as agreed upon in the contract.
Which shows that I am a woman of my word.
And now you're asking us...
She hasn't lied to us so far, but at the same time, I don't want Robert Baratheon after me.
We agreed to go out of our way to do something that was
his resources
separate from our job.
Sending someone across the narrow sea.
She does
All
have
right,
a point.
Not for you, pardon me, but you're nothing to him.
Pardon me, my lady. The four of us need to have a private conversation.
As you wish. She walks up the stairs, it's maybe like a 10-stair staircase, and she's waiting on the up top.
While we talk, I'm gonna get dressed and armored up.
That would be best. What were you
Y'all have all
doing?
had enough of a peep show.
Well, she gets dressed and armored up. Go for the Dornish wine.
The job was bad
No,
enough.
we are drinking wine, definitely.
This detour was bad enough when we accepted in the first place, but now it's turning into actively being against the very people that sent us over here. Do you want to make an enemy of the spider? We'll never be allowed to go home.
I have never said this. I have never said an interest in making enemies of Varys. Lord Varys, he creeped me the fuck out, to be honest. And I am thus thinking that perhaps we should simply get done with the job.
I have a reputation to maintain. I mean, I do have questions I want answered, but at the same time, I can't get those answers if I've got a price in my head and I'm dead.
Certainly it's more complicated being that this person claims to be your mother. I would understand if you
That's
want to
another thing,
stay.
too. I don't know whether she's telling the truth or not. I don't remember my mother's face.
Being played on all sides here.
Indeed.
Clear that we have been pushed in here by the winds of whatever you want to call it, the seven, or whatever gods or signs you wish to hold up on high. But we have been put into a unique situation. And while I understand your fears of Varys' reach and his considerable abilities and intelligence, the current occupant of the Iron Throne is
Your king.
the king. I lost too many friends in his rebellion to completely convey my completely allow my myself to fully embrace to stop that. And I think that we must make a decision that we as men, and the lady here, can live with ourselves.
I will not lie. I'm not particularly fond of the current occupant of the Iron Throne, but at the same time, given what side we were on in the rebellion, but at the same time, we have been contracted to do a job. I do not like to think that I would go against the contract which I have been paid.
Well, I mean,
All right, well, while you guys are talking downstairs, you hear someone enter. Right above you is the lobby of the brothel, and you hear
Right above us. Wait, we're downstairs? I thought we were
You're in the
upstairs.
basement. No, you're in the basement.
Oh, okay.
We're in like a
I misunderstood.
No, you're okay. So you hear two people walk in. They haven't barged in. They've been invited in. And it sounds like they're carrying something very heavy. Both of them. They're maybe both holding wheelbarrows or like hand trucks that they carry behind them. And the door isn't locked by any stretch of the imagination. You're free to walk up. But you start to hear people talking. One man... it's two people, so the one man decides to start talking to Nymea, and he has a decidedly Westerosi accent, which is very odd for this part of Mir, besides Nymea. So,
well, I'm a very non-threatening maester and nothing but like his robe, so I'm open to, I'll just head upstairs and listen in on this.
Okay.
No
All right.
point in derailing
So,
your storytelling.
as Kalo walks upstairs, he would see Nymea speaking to two men. One of them is a full-grown adult who with blue hair, much like the Tyroshi. The Tyroshi dye their hair in very odd colors, and young man who looks to be a young teenager who also has the same blue hair. And
Shit.
one man, the older man, begins to talk to Nymea. Looks like they're talking about some sort of trade negotiation. And Kalo would... actually, you know what? Can you roll me knowledge, please?
Yeah, and I have focuses in history, legends, and heraldry. And
Okay, you know what?
I
Yeah,
don't want to
the heraldry
metagame, but I
will
think I
help.
know what I'm looking at. So I have a knowledge rating of 4 with those focuses. I don't know what the focuses
Okay.
do to that roll. Do I roll 4D?
It's fine. Go ahead and roll, and I'll.
Am I rolling
this should
4
be
dice?
Pretty easy for you.
Am I rolling?
What is your
My knowledge is
thing
4, the rating. You're
right?
We're
So
gonna
it'll
have
be
to remind me how the system works. Again.
what would it be? 46 plus. Do you have a
I have what's
bonus
called.
on there?
Well, this is my question. It says under specialties, education 2B, and under
Okay.
qualities, I have benefits, knowledge focus, heraldry, and knowledge focus, history, and legends.
And that's weird. Is that like an extra? Does it say how many extra you get for that?
It's written under qualities. It was in the archetype that had like under qualities. I get those 2 knowledge focuses and a master of ravens.
You'd have to really quickly look it up.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Hold on one sec.
I don't know what qualities do when they're benefits.
I think it just adds. Let's see here. I think it's just a very specific. Like I don't even think that it would have. I'll be honest with you. This is going to be a really easy roll for you, so I wouldn't even worry about adding anything to it. I would just roll your 46 plus 2.
Cool. All right. 4d6 plus 2.
Okay.
Is that 4d6?
I think it's the full dice, but
Is that 4d6 and I'm adding 2?
Like, plus 2. I think it's plus 2 dice. Is it not?
that's what I think it is.
Yeah, and then you take away the
what happens
lowest
is
one, right?
you roll the abilities, and any bonus dice you also roll. But the most dice you can add together for your number is what you have in the ability. So when I used my spear last episode, I have 5 in fighting and 2 bonus dice in spears. So I rolled 7 dice and just took the 5 highest.
Okay, so I have 4 in knowledge and 2 bonus dice in education.
Yeah.
So you're going to roll 6, and then you're going to take your highest 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ba-da-da-da-da-ba-ba. So my highest 4 is a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 4. So that's...
wait, are we rolling on the dice bot this time, or are we...
He's just
what I'm
rolling
doing.
physical dice.
I was going to roll physical
Which is
dice
fine, I
because
don't
it
care.
sounds better. You guys cool with that?
I trust you.
dude,
I trust
okay,
you, buddy.
fine. I'm fucking breaking out my Mistborn dice.
Do it. I trust you guys.
so I have a-
give me a total. How much was that?
The 6 and 5 and an 8.
So 19?
Yeah. 11.
So you know what?
11,
Let's...
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
19.
19.
I rolled 19.
Yeah, 19. Okay, that's fine, because you only needed 18. That was a really close roll. Okay,
Whoa. So, yeah, the
Halo.
blue hair throws me off, but there's something about the way he stands,
Halo,
his accent,
he immediately recognizes a man whom he knew as John Connington.
Called it.
Yeah, so obviously he looks very different than
looks
when
different.
he
He
was
looks
a
older.
fighter in Westeros.
He was also the hand of the king.
Yes. Yep, he was in the Battle of the Bells, all of it.
Yeah.
So he's speaking to Nymea about some wares. They're speaking in the common tongue, which again is kind of weird. But
But
it's good
it was
because
his
a lot of the
accent
people
that
in the brothel.
It was his accent that
Say what?
gave him away. It was his accent that gave him away because
Yes.
Griffin's Roost is near Storm's End, so it's not Dornish.
There you go.
It's not the rest of Westeros. It has a very distinct regional accent that even under the blue hair, it was enough that perked me up and went, that.
That motherfucker.
Okay.
The young man next to him, you don't recognize him.
No.
But as he turns around, I mean, he's a pretty fair-skinned kid. He seems pretty curious, but also has a very stone-faced expression. He doesn't let on to his emotions, it seems like. In the candlelight, because it's starting to approach dusk, his eyes almost seem violet. So if you approach, they would be very standoffish, but the man that Kalo recognizes turns around because he's heard his steps, and he introduces himself and says, hello, my name's Griff. I don't believe we've met, but you seem very familiar.
I mean, I wasn't thinking of hiding myself when we were walking around, so my maester's chains wouldn't be underneath anything. So he turns around in the middle of the mirror, and there's a maester from Westeros walking around in a brothel. So hopefully that throws him off course.
Yeah, a little bit.
What?
Go ahead.
I don't have any kind of.
You don't say anything. He doesn't say anything.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I was just
right.
walking upstairs to listen what the noise was about. Wish I didn't. Now I feel now I'm gonna get stabbed.
Pardon. These are travelers that I hired to assure my safe return to Mir. I'm afraid they will be leaving soon, though I hoped they would stay for a while. And Griff looks over to hit the boy that would seem to be his son, because they look rather similar, if only because of the blue hair.
Sure, I mean, he's young Griff. We the players know, even if our characters don't.
Okay, yeah, so he's definitely young Griff, yes. So the kid nods at Kalo as if to just, recognize that he's there, and goes to grab a cup of wine. At this point, did you guys want to stay downstairs, or did you want to come up?
I guess I'll
I mean, if you guys
should really come upstairs.
Up there,
it's so much more interesting up here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Griff, having seen everyone come up, kind of rubs his head and says, "I didn't realize you had this much company. I didn't bring this much wine."
Oh, it is okay. We will do fine for wine ourselves.
We have our own.
Indeed.
Well, you wouldn't happen to be interested in buying some wares, would you?
It depends on the wares.
I like these fellows.
I know.
Well, we have some paperweights we could trade with.
Let me unpack what we have.
Do I recognize these guys?
Do you have any skill, like ability when it comes to knowledge of like?
Technically, my sheet says that I have all other skills at 2 dice.
You might not, only because of the age difference at this point. I'm an older character already, so I would have come across.
That's fair.
I would have come across Connington
Like he
when
would
he
know
was
of he would know of John Connington, but he never introduced himself as John Connington. Only Kalo knows that it's John.
Yeah.
Even though he introduced himself as Griff.
That's fair.
But
I've made the connection. I'm happy to pass it on to the rest of
Adric
you.
would probably know about John Connington, but he wouldn't know that was him. Kind of thing,
I wouldn't recognize John Connington if I saw him on the street, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
Would Anders, because I have the sponsored night thing, and we agreed it was Arthur Dane. Mm-hmm. So aspired under a member of the Kingsguard.
That's true. He would have been like
this would have been like 8 years ago.
Presence in a couple times. I would say that. Yeah, you know what? What do you have to roll for that? Do you have?
Or would it be 8 years or like 17 years?
Okay.
Wasn't this? I don't know how many years ago.
Status.
Let's see here. You're did you go retainer or squire?
No, I went. I went.
No, he's an anointed knight.
Right. Sure, my bad.
But
yeah. Dude, what about? I'm trying to think. Awareness might work for that actually. But that's more like perception. Yeah, you know what? Just roll knowledge for me then. It'll be a hard roll, but I'll give you a chance.
Oh. R2D6.
I was just wondering, though, given that this would have happened when you either were all children or not yet born when he was exiled.
He would have, like, how old is Anders?
Anders is about, like, 32, 33.
Oh,
okay.
So you went
he would have been, like, kid. Like, he would have been, like, a young teenager. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So just, we'll roll it and see if it happens. Not quite.
Failure.
I think it's /R, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's /R.
Yeah.
I just tell you. You all are going to find out. I'll whisper in your ears.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, dude.
Derp.
That man isn't who he appears to be. I whisper into each of your ears. He's Lord Connington from the Seven Kingdoms, Hand of the Kings, the Mad King Heiress. Now you all know.
I'm going to say...
Wait, did you just straight up say that?
I'm a maester whispering advice in your ears. That's like my only role as a character. So as you come upstairs, I just do this thing where I whisper in your ears his identity.
I'm gonna say that you definitely he seems familiar to you. His face seems familiar.
Yeah,
but you don't know who he is.
So this is the hand of the king. This is King Robert's hand?
No, this was
Aerys Targaryen.
Yes.
The Mad King.
He was the first. He was one of the Mad King's hands, but he lost the bells to Robert and was
he
was
left.
Declared.
Everyone thought he left the Seven Kingdoms in disgrace and drank himself to death. But he's not actually. That's why he went to Essos after being exiled, and he just stayed there and did shit. Okay, so where was I? Where am I in my notes? You're offering us a quest.
Yeah, so yes. So wine. No. So the carts that they brought into the brothel, there are a number of crates and barrels and stuff, and you would notice that one of the boxes that they're carting around seems to have the same make as the one that carries the eggs that were destined for Daenerys.
Oh, so
it's not near the top of the pile.
They're paperweight merchants.
And it seems to be in a net along with a number of other crates, almost as if it was hauled from somewhere, or liberated, as some smugglers say. He begins to rifle through some of the belongings, and comes across some treasures, offering them to Nymea, and in trade for other like specific things that he would need for his journeys. Because Nymea isn't just a whorehouse. What's the word I'm looking for? Someone who owns a whorehouse. What am I thinking? Sure, yeah.
Madam.
Yes, she's not just a madam. She also deals in wares,
She's a one-stop shop.
Pretty much, yeah. She's the general store. So if you guys are looking at the hall that they have, you would notice that one crate that looks very similar to the one that you guys have downstairs. Because I'm assuming you left the crate of eggs downstairs.
No, we just haul it around with us wherever we go. Yeah, we're going to get downstairs.
Let's just open it and like show everyone.
Or are we keeping them in the crate?
So what do you want to do?
Or are we passing them around like little...
right now, the crate or the box that whatever it is, it's on the ground on top of a couple other things. He hasn't touched it yet, but he's not protecting it, so it's not like you can't go and look for yourself because he wants you to buy some stuff, right? So go ahead and
I will peruse his wares.
Say what?
I will. What is it? Peruse. I'll look around.
Okay.
You know, it occurs to me to ask Griff, how exactly are you transporting all of these things?
How I get these wares is none of your concern.
Well, no, it's just we have a wagon that we are in need of selling.
Oh, well, I'm not really in the business of deliveries, but I might have a look at it.
Unlike you, probably could use a wagon to cart your objects around that you wish to sell.
We are not exactly in the business of selling all the time. It just happens to be the best way to make money of late.
Oh, yes, but if you have a wagon, you can transport more objects to more places and sell them.
At this point, Tiff,
money can be exchanged for goods and services.
I'm like, I have no real reason to interact with this guy. I kind of want to just get some sleep, find some horses, then get back on the road to kill Daenerys Targaryen.
Pretty much.
All right, well...
Bitches need to die now.
Griff would point at the box, the one that has the very similar make to the one that you have, and say, I haven't been able to open that one yet. If you fellows would like to give it a go, I would not be against that, since
How
there
much
must
do
be
you-
something very valuable inside.
Perhaps a wager is in order. How much would you like to wager that we can open this box?
I'm not interested in gambling, my friend. I just want to make money.
Okay, well, let's just open the box. Let's see what's inside.
If you can get it open, then go ahead.
What's the
We've
box?
I
already
have thievery at 2.
Does anyone else have like lockpicking or anything?
No. Adric's just going to try the key.
Oh yeah, right. The key that he had from the other box. You know what? Yes.
Surprise!
Do it.
Like, he looks Griff in the eyes like, it is a good thing that you are not a betting man. He turns around, shoves his whole body up against the box, tries to surreptitiously stick the key in while looking like he's actually like trying to wrestle the box.
You know what's funny is I get this image of like a Road to El Dorado type thing going on.
Absolutely. Do you want me to roll like agility or something for this?
Just
Just to see if I can pull off the con of this?
You know, do it. Because
All
either
right,
way,
let's
the
see.
reaction's going to be funny.
Well, 7, 9, that's 17.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You're good. So Griff is surprised by the agility in which you ran at the box, and is impressed that you seemingly lockpicked it. And he
This
says,
dude in full brigandine armor, the sword at his side, grabs the box, shakes it a bit, wrestles with it, and the thing pops open.
it would pop open, and you would see.
Oh yeah, and then he pockets the key. Like,
Okay, good. Where is my notes? Blah 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 blah. You would all see 2 stone eggs, very similar to the ones that were in the crate for Daenerys. One of them is a dark blue. One of them is a ruby red.
Oh, great. More paperweights.
yeah, you appear to be transporting paperweights.
You know, they double as well.
I don't even know what those are.
You can use them as like massage
And,
rollers on your back to help iron out the kinks, too.
Nymea is completely silent because while she was totally expecting to have to go find the egg she was talking about,
They're right here.
They're right
they
here.
are right here in front of her. So she doesn't say anything. She's very quiet, but she's not exactly surprised in her expression.
So I suppose
She's
our
almost
job here is
slightly
all
relieved.
done, and she'll be more than happy to pay us for the work completed.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. You know, these are actually very handsome paperweights.
All right,
You know,
well,
if you heated them on the fire, they actually look like they could be very, very
stop
comfortable
it.
massage
Derek,
stones.
goddammit!
Six dragons for the paperweights.
I hate you guys, but I love
I'll
you
pay
guys. Okay,
6
so,
dragons for the paperweights.
While you
3
guys
apiece.
you guys are talking about your new discovery, 5 men burst into the brothel, and this is going to be a journey in accents, my friends. Okay. One of the men, appearing to be the leader, says, "I do not know who you think you are dealing with, but if you knew who you had stolen from, you would not have done so. Perhaps you are unaware that the loot you now possess was already claimed by the Bravosi brethren. It will not matter when your blood is feeding the grass. Normally, I would give you one chance."
The who? The what?
You
Have
are
heard of
Bravosi,
this
yes?
group, Eldrick?
Do they have... Oh, no. You know what? You could tell by the rapists that they are probably Bravosi. They always use the short blades. Incidentally, I do have a question for you. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I must ask you one simple question. May I ask it, sir? I apologize. I've been rude.
Technically, you're asking 2, but
Excellent.
I suppose.
You are about 5 foot and 9 inches, yes?
5'10".
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I shall be sure to tell the coffin maker if you do not fuck off right now.
You see, normally I would give you a chance to hand over what you have taken. But because of that comment, I am
Tiff,
not
I draw
feeling
my
so generous.
longsword and cut him down.
Unlost.
Mid-fucking
Okay.
sentence.
Okay.
I'm with
So
you, everybody.
as well.
I'm gonna need you to roll.
I believe it's agility
roll agility then.
for initiative.
Fighting. Or agility.
Am I rolling for
let's
initiative?
roll. Let's roll.
Or can I just get a quick? Can I get a
No,
surprise
you get a quick attack in because So,
okay, awesome. I get my surprise attack in.
Fuck this motherfucker.
Let's. I should know, guys, because. No, I wouldn't have brought my spear up with me. It's going to be the sword.
Yeah.
You got me a dagger after this.
I'm as good. Surprising story. I looked up Oberyn Martell's stats, and apparently I'm almost as good as him.
Nice.
Holy shit.
By within a point or two. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm taking out those 2 2s. Tiff?
Mm-hmm.
19.
Tiff, I rolled a 29.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, okay.
He's dead.
He's dead. You only needed a fucking 20. God damn it.
Was there only the one?
Make these goons more fucking...
Tiff, was there only the one?
How many? It's not that. It's that I'll show you a picture of what I rolled.
Oh, no. Okay, let's see.
I rolled 3 5s, a 6, and a 3.
Excellent.
Oh, my God.
How many are there?
So Adric's sword, the guy's in mid-sentence, as he's like, but because you made that comment, Adric's longsword comes out of its scabbard, he swings it one-handed and basically takes the guy's head off.
Oh, Lord. Oh. Okay. And he quickly falls on the ground.
How many are there?
Though, as opposed to the smugglers you found on the road, these goons are not so easily swayed.
And Bernard made his surprise attack as well as I went. He rolled a 23.
Okay, and who did you attack on? The same person?
Oh, yeah.
Because there was 4 more. Okay, so there's 4 more goons around you. So which one did you want to attack?
I'll go with the one.
You can just go. You can just say 1, 2, 3, or 4.
If he went for 1, I'll go. I'll go with 1.
I'll go with the other guy that he's not taking.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, 1 second here.
These guys burst in the door. They're like, "We are Bravosi pirates, and you will do what we say." And then 3 of them are just dead.
Okay.
Anders has a bastard sword, which he's using with both hands, just bringing it out and splitting a motherfucker's head.
Okay, so Bernard, yours was another surprise attack, right? So you got what, 22?
No, he got 21, taking
21.
out his bonus dice. Yeah.
Right, because it was 5 in the 2 bonus. Okay. Yeah, he's dead. God damn it, you guys.
Hey, Varys knew who he was hiring.
Also 5d6 plus 2 bonus.
Yep.
So you got a 19?
19.
No, wait, you got an 18.
Varys knew who he was hiring for this mission.
The one that Kryn surprise attacked is very close to dying. He is beginning to bleed out. He is leaning against a pillar and holding his guts in.
I'm gonna boot him in the guts.
Are we now rolling initiative against the remaining 2?
I was gonna say, because Kalo hasn't done anything, but I guess he's a maester, so he doesn't really fight anyway.
I was going to, while in the chaos, grab the eggs and run downstairs and hide in a wine barrel, but...
That sounds amazing.
That's going to be like smart. All I was going to do.
You know what? If you want to do that...
But you know, I was thinking that by the time I make it to the eggs, half of the goons are already dead. I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be fine.
It's like Caleb picks up the eggs, takes 3 steps away, and suddenly there are 3 bodies on the floor.
I'm just stepping over the bodies as I'm making my way to the back of the brothel.
He tries to make his getaway and almost trips over one of the bodies.
Can you roll me? Do you have agility? No, you don't. Do you?
I can just roll 2. I have 2 on everything that I don't have trained in.
Yeah, do that then.
9.
This game is kind of beautiful.
I roll a 9.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah, so you sneak away, and they don't even see you. You're pretty much invisible. Okay.
Yeah, no one pays attention to the middle-aged man in the robes. Whereas I'm just a customer at the brothel, as far as they know. I don't even have armor on.
Okay, so Dodd, you said you wanted to kick the last one in the chest, the one that's almost dead. Okay, roll me.
Where's Griff and young Griff heading to during all this?
No, it'd still be fighting.
Okay.
Covers everything that doesn't involve shooting a bow at someone.
Okay.
What's Griff and young Griff up to while this is happening?
Oh, they are over where Nymea is. They don't have
disbelief at what just.
Well, yeah, this is all happening in a split second.
They have weapons. Yeah, exactly. They have weapons drawn, but they aren't attacking.
Okay, great.
Okay,
I'm going downstairs to get the paperweights
initiative now, or is there even any point to it?
I mean, You can, but I mean, there's only 2 left, and after Kryn kicks this one in the chest, it'll be over for that one. So, I mean, honestly, I don't really. If you want to, Derek, you go first, and then Bernard, because I'm sure you guys will be fucking finishing these guys off because I made them too squishy.
It's not even a matter if you made them too squishy. It's the fact that the way that, and I noticed this, and this is just sort of side commentary on the game, the way that the Anointed Knight and Hedge Knight templates are written, I literally am 1 quality away from 2 qualities away from being as good with a spear as Oberyn Martell.
Wow, man.
We are written to, these characters are written to be ludicrously fucking competent.
Man.
Just like,
that's good.
It's fucking nuts. Okay, I rolled a bit less cool this time. I only got a 20.
Only.
Okay.
Oh, and
Yeah,
Derek,
no,
I'll save this for the debrief, but I like this trend in games where you play as immediately competent characters right from the beginning of the story. We're already main characters.
Okay, so
no, he got a 24
lobby,
after his bonus dice are taken
The lobby
out.
is covered in
the
blood.
lobby of the whorehouse looks like
We're gonna need to find another place to stay.
Tarantino movie.
Oh my god, it literally looks like the set of Kill Bill.
Yeah, it looks like the friggin' tea house in Kill Bill. Okay, so
Except we didn't take
they are all
20 minutes to
dead,
play out that
and
scene.
Suddenly, you hear an arrow whiz through the air, missing all of you, including Griff and young Griff, but finding its home in Nymea's chest.
No!
It is an extremely well-placed shot directly to the heart.
Happy Mother's
Is it
Day.
a Dothraki arrow? Did the Dothraki follow us?
You can't see it yet. If you go over to check her, you can.
Well, I was
right out.
Tiff.
pull
That's where
my
I was
bow and
walking
knock an
past
arrow.
them. If I was
I'm
heading to
going
the
to pull the
basement.
arrow out of her chest.
by the time you look back at the door, all you see is a blur running away. So, at the back of the room where Nymea has fallen over, Griff and young Griff are both there. Nymea reaches up to young Griff's collar and holds it tightly and utters these words. Egg, the fire, use the fire. The fire brings new life. Use the fire. And then she draws her last breath and exhales, and lifeless eyes and her body goes limp.
She uses her last words on him? Fuck her!
oh, God, that's got to be a kick in the pants to
What a
Grin.
fucking asshole!
She never claimed to be a nice lady.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck your Mother's Day card, bitch. Yeah.
I mean, have you met mothers in Game of Thrones? Come on now. They're all assholes.
Well,
Anyways.
the Stark mom was okay.
Well,
except to John. She was an asshole to John.
yeah,
Anyways.
she was. Kate was kind of a terrible person. Also, the show never has her becoming a zombie. So, you know.
Yeah, right? That was so dumb. Anyways.
No Lady Stoneheart.
No Lady Stoneheart.
Tiff, well, they're having their big, their very emotional moment. Adric's looting the bodies.
Okay.
I am not above stealing the coin pouches of the men my shield brother and I just cut down.
Fair enough. Okay,
Anders
Dodd, did you say that? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Anders is actually, when he sees the Red Priestess say the last words to this person she calls Egg, just kind of go over and
Or
look
was
at
you referring to
Connington
the
and
eggs?
Young Griff.
Oh my god.
And just kind of give them the quizzical, what you talking about, Willis? There's some explaining to do here.
I'm so glad that you caught that. Okay, so...
Yeah, no, yeah.
Good, I'm glad. Okay, so...
Kayla's going to convince everyone that she was talking about eggs in her dying
there you
breath.
go, eggs.
Yeah,
There's 5 eggs.
and not egg.
Yeah. So,
Who names their kid
Dodd, did you
Egg?
say that you were pulling the arrow out of her chest?
Yeah, I'll pull the arrow out of her chest.
Can you please roll me whatever your perception... What's your perception? Or knowledge?
Awareness, I'm guessing?
Sorry, you know what? You have... do you have... Fuck, what is it? I'm trying to think. What would you roll for knowledge of like a... Because you know you have...
Knowledge.
Like, Kryn has knowledge of weaponry from this side of the world.
I'd say
So then give him-
maybe just fighting.
Use the
No,
knowledge
marksmanship if it's a bow.
marksmanship.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
or
Do that.
the
Roll
knowledge
marksmanship
ability with
for
some
me.
special
Okay.
bonus die, given his focus.
Yep.
Durr. It go fly through air.
What did you roll, Dodd?
Look.
I don't see it.
I'm not seeing it either.
Are you
it's
rolling?
in the
Are you
studio
rolling in the audience
Oh, you-
channel?
Oh, studio.
Did
my
you
bad.
roll in front of the studio audience?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
dear
did.
Lord. That's wow.
That's derpy hooves.
Womp
That
womp.
is some serious
Okay.
derpy hoops right there.
So it's definitely an arrow.
You will.
It appears
killed my
to run on
mom.
some form of tension and wood, not electricity.
It's not especially well made, but it looks like it's been used a couple times. The tip has been repeatedly sharpened, but you can't tell where it's from.
Would you let
It's
the
not his
maester
arrow,
roll?
though. It's not her arrow, though, is it? That she
No.
shot into the captain?
Would you let Caleb have a look at it?
Adric looks over at
Hilarious.
Adric looks over at Andrews and says, that quip I said to him was kind of pointless. He is now about what, like half a foot shorter?
Would you let Kalo have a look at the arrow?
We need the maester to measure it properly.
Well, yes, we should get the maester to measure it.
I rolled a 20
Speaking
on
of
my
which, where'd he
knowledge.
go?
Where is the maester? Where are the eggs?
Oh yeah, I guess I'm downstairs, aren't I?
Yeah, hiding in a wine barrel.
You're all gonna come down and let me know when it's safe, right?
Well, you don't
Yeah,
hear
someone-
people screaming and bleeding anymore.
All right, so I
Well,
come back up.
usually we go
I'm
looking
smelling a
for-
little bit like marine wine, and I've thrown them into a bag, so they're all knocking around on each other now. The 5 eggs.
Fridays.
I guess we're gonna need to find a new place to sleep tonight. These should find a nice pretty penny, and then I look over at the arrow, roll a 20 in my knowledge check, and oh, that looks like a blank arrow.
Okay. Wait. So did you just? Are you rolling? Or
I
did you
rolled
already
5, 5, 4, and a 6.
Okay. Yeah, you're good. That is a Dothraki arrow.
Oh, and we should definitely get out of here now because it's clear that the Dothraki have begun to follow us, and we're going to need to find a new safe haven.
All right, let us grab our gear and then be on the road.
I'm gonna look at my mother's body and close her eyes. Didn't know you, but you will be avenged.
We will
Be
throw
sure
her
of
away
that.
later.
Griff and young Griff are both
Perhaps,
listening this entire time.
perhaps Griff and young Griff have
And,
some advice from where we can go and hide. They know this land better than
Say
we
what?
do. Perhaps Griff and young Griff can help us find places to hide since they know these lands better than we do. And I tip off that it would be nice for a Lord of Westeros to be able to help us out on our missions.
Griff kind of looks at you with a puzzled smile, almost nostalgic, and he nods. Ooh, hear that thunder?
Wow, that
my
was
end.
That was
dramatically
amazing.
perfect.
That was so good. Okay. And
God, that
We're
was
gonna die.
That was amazing.
The Dothraki
That couldn't have
hordes.
picked a better moment.
So they're all
I'm
getting
gonna say
their
that's
gear,
gonna start
and the
raining.
Maester
It's
has an
starting to
assign.
rain right now.
Awesome.
It's starting to rain right now in game.
So
So,
the,
you hear a crack of thunder, and it starts to rain outside.
Perfect. So they're all getting their gear, and the Maester has a moment to tip off a bit to Griff that he knows he's more than what he
He knows
lets
who he
on to
is.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. So Griff nods and says, as a matter of fact, I do. For being here and escorting her safely, I would offer you a place on the ship that I happen to be sailing on right now. And he will guide you towards the dock where where the ship that he's staying on would be, if you are willing to follow him.
Yeah,
But
why not? I mean,
before you leave, he wraps Naimia up in some fabric and takes her body with them.
Before we leave, having rifled through did they have anything interesting on them other than just like coins?
Just some, gold and, pilfered paraphernalia, pretty much.
Yeah, no, he looks around at the brothel patrons who are probably still a bit wide-eyed. What the fuck just happened? Their swords are not so good, but I'm sure you could get a pretty penny for them.
I'll write a note with. I'll leave 5 dragons behind. Sorry about the mess, and leave it by the front desk.
All right, and with that, they will, the two of them lead you towards a dock that's not very far away, but it is sort of hidden in an alcove. It's obviously not a dock that commercial ships would use to bring in merchandise from across the narrow sea and whatnot. And it's not a very large ship. It looks like it's pretty run down.
Just a pole boat.
But it serves them for what they need.
It's a riverboat, isn't
so
it?
once you all arrive there, Griff just lays Nymea's body down and turns to all of you and says, she will get a proper burial before we leave. She deserves much more than that.
Was she actually my mother?
That I am not sure.
How is he going to know this?
They might have been friends. Who's to say?
We were friends, but I did not know her personal life. She was a very guarded person. But if I may say so, if she was your mother, you should be proud. And I know she would be proud of you.
I'm gonna just kind of grit my teeth and be like, I'll find the one who did this.
Anyone else have anything to say about this?
We
matter?
should be going now. If we are to go on your ship, we should be leaving now, given that the Dothraki are obviously in town.
The rain will keep them at bay for a little bit, but not much longer.
I know of an island near here where we can give her a burial or a pyre, whatever seems more appropriate, I suppose. But we need to do it quickly. And they begin cast out procedures, and they start to go towards the aforementioned island. And I think we can call that episode here.
Sure.
Maybe?
Awesome.
Because it's been almost an hour?
Almost an hour.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Let's do that, because that's actually a good way to end it, because I have a good way to open the next episode.
And so the final episode, the island, where we find out this whole thing is actually just setting up the first episode of Lost.
Oh God! It's you're a bunch of bloodthirsty cutthroats. I'm gonna dump you on the island of the Stone Men, and you all can just go fuck yourselves.
We're pretty far from the Rion. You're safe from Stonemen. Don't worry.
Oh, fantastic!
They're going to take us to the ruins of Valyria.
Old Valyria.
Yes.
We're going to Old Valyria, which is just this smoking hole in the world. I mean, we discussed it at one point. We're like, we don't know what the fuck is beyond like a shy. It could be crazy Valyrians with laser guns for all we know.
Well, from beyond a shy, I mean, like, there's the Jade Sea, right? So there's those Asian guys, which is cool.
They could have laser guns for all we know.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Maybe they're interested in bartering ornate stone paperweights. We have 5 now.
Oh my God.
I want to collect them all like Dragon
We can do whatever the
Balls.
fuck we want.
I want to collect them all like the Dragon
We have
Balls.
5 potential dragons.
You have 5 stones that might be magical.
If we get 7, we can make a wish.
Dragon Balls.
Oh no. God damn
I
it.
do the crossovers on this show.
Oh my God, that would actually be kind of amazing.
That would be hilarious.
And I am Goku.
Goku first of his name.
Oh Lord. Oh God. Lord.
All right,
No.
Here we are then.
Yes.
Final, the 3rd episode of our Song of Ice and Fire, Blood and Gold. More blood than gold, I'll have to say. Well, maybe next week is the gold week, where we find all the gold and not as much blood. I don't know.
I found a lot of gold by robbing the bodies of our enemies.
As your ineffectual maester learning all the truths of the world around him, but not having to get his hands dirty like the rest of them, I've been Justin Ecock, Maester Kalo.
Bloodthirsty Dornish Knight, I've been Derek the Bard from Chasing the Muse, playing Ser Adric Tynes.
May or may not be a complete sociopath.
Yeah.
My mom saw me naked, then she died. Not a good sign.
Who are you?
I'm Crid.
I'm good.
I'm mourning now.
Oh, Corinne is sad face.
And Bernard.
And
last but not
Bernard
least.
playing Sir Anders Dane, Dornish Knight, and this is my second bar brawl of the campaign so far. And yep,
God,
male
next week
fist
for the
with
third.
Derek because we are 2 for 2 in bar brawls.
Yes, tune in next week for the Bar Brawl trilogy.
Oh my god, we need to have a bar brawl trilogy. This could be like our Cornetto trilogy, man.
Nice. Technically, you already had a bar brawl in the first episode.
We did. We're 2 out of 3 right now.
There you go.
We need to find a way to start a bar brawl on this theoretically abandoned island.
We got to build a bar,
We will
invite a bunch of people into it, just
and
fight
then we
each
fight
other.
people in the bar.
It'll be the blank and Firkin, too.
The blank.
The dragon
The dragon and Firkin.
Yes!
The dragon and Firkin.
Oh my god. We need to end this episode
The
before we
fire-
keep going forever.
Bye.
Bye!
Game of Thrones Blood and Gold will return in 2 weeks' time for its bloody finale. And new episodes of The Terrible Warriors is released every Tuesday and Thursday. On Tuesday of next week, we begin our round of finale episodes for our launch campaigns of this year. In Sailor Moon Thunderheart, the Sailor Scouts are completing their trials, but they are out of time. As their true enemy approaches, will they be able to band together as a team and save the world from destruction? Find out on Tuesday. And Thursday of next week, alternating with Game of Thrones, we conclude our Blades in the Dark story with Derek the Bard as Edmonton crew. Suffering betrayal from within their ranks, Derek the GM had to pull a fast one to figure out how to wrap up that story with a nice little bow. The finale is definitive, to say the least. And in 2 weeks' time, on Tuesdays, alternating with Sailor Moon, we're wrapping up our first story of Star Trek Adventures. And don't worry, this may be the end of their first adventure, but it is the beginning of many more to come as we continue to record new episodes of Star Trek throughout the year, playing along with the living campaign by Modiphius. That's not the big announcement that I teased at the beginning of this episode. Yes, we're playing more Star Trek. Of course we are. I'm a Trekkie. But what we are doing is launching a whole new show for you to subscribe to. You see, Mike the Birdman Dodd, he did a thing. He went and started playing a Dungeons & Dragons game. He thought it was going to be a one-shot, and then he made 100 episodes. We've already got a whole year's worth of material to share with you, and rather than drown out the Terrible Warriors, we thought it would be interesting to start an entirely new show. So, for the first month, for the first 4 episodes, you can find them right here on The Terrible Warriors, released every Friday. It's Friday indeed for the next 4 weeks, as we begin the Cambridge Chronicles. But that's just the preview of the game to come, because like I told you, there's 100 of them. So, if you want to continue listening to the Cambridge Chronicles, you can head over to terriblewarriors.com right now and click on the Cambridge Chronicles button that has magically appeared out of nowhere and subscribe to the new show, a whole new RSS feed just for you, where you will hear just Mike Dodd playing just the Cambridge Chronicles with the same players every episode. You've been asking us to do long form for a while, and we play around with it on this show, but it doesn't really fit the format, which is why the Cambridge Chronicles has become a thing. One game, one gaming group, one location, and a bunch of stories to tell. The Cambridge Chronicles begins tomorrow. Come right back here to the Terrible Warriors to hear the first episode, and we will remind you when that 4th one airs that you can continue listening to the Cambridge Chronicles at terriblewarriors.com/Cambridge Chronicles. You can follow for more details at terriblewarriors.com, as well as our Twitter account at Dice Warriors. Come join us in our Discord channel. Patreon supporters get a few extra perks. They get to listen in to some of our episode recordings, just like this episode you listened to today, Game of Thrones with Blood and Gold. Today's Terrible Warriors and your pawns in the great game were Derek Burrow, Justin Ecock, Mike Dodd, Bernard Dawson, and Game Master Tiff Compton. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for our epic conclusion to A Song of Ice and Fire. And we'll see you tomorrow for the first episode of the Cambridge Chronicles. And it's all thanks to you. Not just our Patreon supporters, but everyone who's ever liked, shared, and left a review. For everyone who's played a game based on a game they heard on this show. For telling a friend that we're actually a pretty good actual play podcast. You should go check them out. Every time you send a little retweet on Twitter, every time you get involved and engage with this show, you become a terrible warrior.